So Lisa Rinna was on Watch What Happens Live last night after the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills went off. And Andy, of course, made it simple for her. He made it easy. He wasn't difficult. The only thing that he said to her was that online on social media that she's a double disaster, meaning she's worse than how Candace was, because we all know he always has something to say about Candace and how she is on social media. And Candace is no way near a third of how Lisa Rinna is. So to me, that's the only thing he really brought up when she was on there last night. One thing that he didn't do, and maybe it was a taped show, but he didn't have the polls. Every episode on Watch What Happens Live, and I usually catch it the nights that Housewives are on, and it comes on afterwards. That's when I, for the most part, catch it. But he always has polls that he does. And, people vote in and we see real time, what the outcomes are. So it was no polls for this episode with Lisa. And I'm thinking that's what she wanted. She didn't want it live to where people will be able to give their feedback on how she is, because she knows the majority of people that watch this show do not like her anymore and are over her and are ready for her to go. I'm ready for her to go. I do not like her. I've missed a few seasons of Housewives of Beverly Hills, but I've watched the last three. But since it's been on all this time, I did manage to miss a few. Pretty much when the whole Lisa Vanderpump stuff happened is when I wasn't fully tuned in. But I've never been a real fan of Lisa, but right now I really just can't stand her. I cannot stand her. What she pulled when she hopped in on Garcelle and Diana's back and forth a few weeks ago when all of that drama was unfolding, Lisa jumped in and got upset at people and went on Instagram and said to people that because racism was being brought up, because remember, Diana brought up the whole thing about how she helped Haiti and how she, did this and did that, meaning like she doesn't have a problem with Black people. Lisa jumped in on that. And this is what Lisa said regarding them fighting on the show and the way that they were treating Garcelle. She's like, we fight on our show. If we fight with Garcelle, we are all of a sudden called a racist. That's BS. I will not accept that. I will express myself when and how I want, and I'm not afraid of any of you hoes. This is her talking to the viewers. So she said that, and after that, she posted the second one over here to the right, where she says, and if you're just so triggered by our show, and a lot of you pussies are, go watch Dubai. So when she said that, meaning go watch the show with the Black women on there. That's what she meant by that, right? You would think that Andy would ask her about this. Now, I don't know if Andy's going to get more in detail when they tape the reunion, asking her about what she's been saying on social media, because what he did last night, that's not enough. It's no way that he can say that that was his way of bringing up her social media antics. He has to get in more detail and ask her more questions when they tape that reunion. So when she said that, the women from Housewives of Dubai, and yes, this is their first season. It's not great, but I'm definitely gonna watch the next season. And these are the three women that she was talking about, and that also had said stuff back to her. But these are the three women on Housewives of Dubai. If any of you watch it, you'll know who I'm talking about. It's Caroline, Lisa, and Chanel, or Chanel Ayan. So Lisa came for them. Andy didn't even ask her about that last night. But what he did ask her about was what happened with Erica Jane, because we know Lisa was with Erica Jane when she got served at LAX, and Lisa was like walking away. So he asked her what happened. Lisa explained that the woman approached Erica as a fan, like she wanted a photo with her or something, and that's what got Erica to like engage with her. And then when she did, she gave her the papers, and Lisa said she walked away, and when she saw that, noticed that she was being served, that she walked away. And he asked Lisa what happened in the car afterwards, and she's like, we took separate cars, so I don't know, I had no conversation with her after that. But I mean, I'm kind of surprised, but I'm really not because I see how Andy operates now, especially on Watch What Happens Live. If you see the way he interacts with the women because we really only see him interact with the women during the reunion. Other than that, the whole season will air, and the only time is when they go on Watch What Happens Live. So you can tell who his favorites are and who he, isn't too fond of. You can just tell by the interaction with them. So he gave Lisa a pass as usual, like I figured he would. And I'm mad that he didn't even say nothing about the exchange with Housewives of Dubai. He didn't ask her about that. And I'm pretty sure she didn't want him to ask her about that. But her response for behaving this way is, I'm a mess. I'm a mess. Do you think that he will let Candace get away with answering, saying that she's just a mess? That's just what it's about. I'm a mess. I mean, this woman, even the beef with Kathy Hilton, what happened with that so-called guy that they're saying was supposed to work for Rinna, and something happened between him and Kathy. Like that didn't even play out yet. We still have more episodes to go for the season. But she's in drama with that. And then supposedly saying something about what Kathy Hilton said that was supposedly racist. We're going to see that play out. So it's a lot more drama happening with Lisa Rinna. And I didn't even get into the actual episode last night. I'm going to do a separate video with that. But I wanted to talk about her on Watch What Happens Live because Andy let her skate and get away with nothing. Like she didn't have to own up to anything. She didn't have to own up to nothing. Except for saying she's a mess. And he giggled it off like he told her, he did tell her that you are the reason that this is happening. It's because of you, meaning fix yourself. Like you can't blame anybody else but yourself. It's what he said to her. And she just sat there like this. That's all she did. So, guys, thank you for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.